Ladies and gentlemen, did Hagerty just accidentally settle the debate between the ZR1 and GT3 RS at the Nürburgring?
Hello everyone, I'm Mike Brink and this is Brink of Speed. And today's video is not brand loyalty, it's not hype, and it's not speculation. This is math, physics, and professional driving data. Because the recent Hagerty Ultimate Lap battle just gave us something we've never had before. A true apples-to-apples comparison between the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 and the Porsche GT3 RS. Oh, and that video was fantastic and will be linked below in the description. This was all on the same day, with the same tires at the same track, and with the same professional race car driver. And once you understand what that data really says, the Nürburgring result becomes impossible to ignore. By the way, I'm also not stating that this is all a perfect analysis, but I think it's pretty safe to say that this video will prove that if GM used the same race driver that Porsche used, the ZR1 would destroy a GT3 RS at the Nürburgring. And for those who don't know the specs of a GT3 RS or the Corvette ZR1, let me give them to you real fast. The GT3 RS has a 4-liter naturally aspirated flat 6 engine making 518 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and the top speed is 184 miles an hour. By the way, it only has 342 foot-pounds of torque as well. The ZR1, on the other hand, is a 5.5-liter flat-plane crank V8 with 1,064 horsepower, does 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds, and has a top speed of 233 miles per hour. Oh, and by the way, has 828 foot-pounds of torque. The GT3 RS weighs about 3,200 pounds and almost has 1,900 pounds of downforce. The Corvette ZR1 weighs almost 4,000 pounds and has over 1,200 pounds of downforce. So there are the key differences. And I believe this test matters because most Nürburgring arguments fall apart immediately. You have different drivers, different weather conditions, different tire rules, different days, and even different factory setups. But with this Hagerty video, their test eliminated all of that. I believe their test is more valid because we had a professional driver. His name is Randy Popes, for those of you who do not know him. He is a phenomenal driver that drove for SCCA back in the early 2000s and had multiple championships. And he's not a GM engineer. This was the same exact track session, no manufacturer controlled ring laps, no hero lap conditions, and no marketing edits. This isn't a Porsche Nürburgring video. This isn't a GM Nürburgring video. This is raw performance under controlled conditions. And this result changes everything. On a 2.5-mile track, Sonoma Raceway, the Corvette ZR1 put over 2 full seconds on the GT3 RS. Just let that sink in for a minute. So why is this massive? Well, Sonoma is short. Sonoma limits top speed, and Sonoma rewards agility and braking. These are all GT3 RS strengths. This definitely was not the perfect track for the ZR1, and yet it still pulled away. And by the way, the whole time, Randy Popes was loving his experience in this beautiful ZR1. So if you scale the gap, here's where it all starts to make sense, because performance gaps truly do scale. Again, Sonoma is 2.5 miles long. The Nürburgring is 12.9 miles, basically 13 miles long. So the Nürburgring is over 5 times longer than Sonoma. Now we know from that video that the Corvette ZR1 beat the GT3 RS by 2.3 seconds. And if you times that by 5.1, which is the difference in the tracks, it almost equals 12 full seconds. This isn't hype, and it's not bias. It's simply extending the same performance delta across a longer circuit. And believe me, if you thought it was crazy how the ZR1 gapped the GT3 RS on the straights at Sonoma, imagine how much further those gaps would be on the long stretches of Nürburgring. The ZR1 advantages would certainly compound at the ring. You have a massive horsepower advantage, stronger acceleration zones, way higher speed zones, in fact, over 200 miles per hour compared to only 143 miles per hour at Sonoma, which in turn gives you higher sustained throttle time. Those are all weak points in the GT3 RS. And the Nürburgring isn't about one perfect corner. It's about repeating performance corner after corner for 12.9 miles. Every straight, every uphill pull, every exit speed, those all add up. And the GT3 is phenomenal in short bursts, but the ZR1 is devastating over distance. So let me address the naysayers in the room. This isn't me saying the GT3 RS isn't incredible, because it absolutely is. In fact, it's one of my favorite cars. Even though you guys know I love Corvettes, the GT3 RS has got to be one of my favorite all-time cars out there, and I would love to own one. But the idea that mechanical grip alone overcomes this large horsepower deficit over 13 miles simply doesn't hold up, especially when the ZR1 proved this already at Sonoma. And it also proved that it can corner almost as fast as the GT3. So again, Sonoma already showed us the GT3 RS didn't make up time in the twisty sections. So that myth is gone. So here's what I believe a real Nürburgring driver would do in a ZR1. Imagine this same test at the Nürburgring, not with GM's engineer, but with a driver who knows every camber change, every blind crest, and every compression. That's where confidence totally changes everything. It's where power matters, and it's where this stops being theoretical and becomes inevitable. In my opinion, Hagerty did us a huge favor by making this video. They didn't try and settle the Nürburgring debate, but I think you'd all agree they accidentally did. The data tells a very clear story here. And at the Nürburgring, with everything equal, the Corvette ZR1 wouldn't just beat the GT3 RS. It would annihilate it. But what do you guys think? Did you watch the Hagerty video and come away feeling the same as I did? My immediate thought was, well, this proves that with the right driver, the ZR1 would beat the GT3 RS by 10 seconds or more at the ring. But please leave a comment below for GM if you think they should hire the same driver or same caliber of driver that Porsche hires for their hero laps at the ring. I've said this from day one. I'm not faulting GM for wanting to use their engineers to make these world record lap times at the ring. It actually proves that the car's better than we ever thought it was, because for a driver who doesn't do this on a daily basis as their profession, that's the difference between a really good driver and a professional race car driver. It would be like a professional race car driver trying to engineer a car. They may be able to do some things because they know a lot about cars. However, they would never be able to engineer the car the way a true engineer could. Just like a true engineer can never drive a car the way a true race car driver can. So GM, let us see what the ZR1 can truly do, because I feel like you're gonna take anywhere from 8 to 10 seconds or more off of the ZR1 ring time, and it would be well worth the money spent to prove to the whole world that it truly is the supercar of the year, which is the title that it was given by Top Gear. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, smash that red subscribe button, and help me reach my goal of 100,000 subscribers. I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful rest of your day, a very Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys out on the road.